And in this second lesson on chess strategy as it relates to the fundamental elements of the game, which are time, space, and force, we'll be looking at space. All chess games begin with a balance of power between the white and black camps. To justify a decision to attack, you need an advantage in one of these elements. In the previous lesson on time, we saw how white gains a slight advantage in time, space, and force actually, by virtue of having the first move. However, black seeks to maintain the balance of power by not conceding the elements in the hopes of eventually equalizing white's first move so he can think about mounting his own offensive. It's important to know when one side has achieved an advantage because this means an attack is possible. In the position you see in front of you, black has not made the best moves and has unfortunately allowed white to gain a large spatial advantage. How do you evaluate space? You do this by counting the number of squares attacked or occupied on the opponent's side of the board, including squares which are already guarded or occupied by the opponent's pieces. If we evaluate the position you see in front of you, which is taken from the late great chess grandmaster Larry Evans' book, by first drawing an imaginary line which separates white's and black's side of the board. See here, this is the black side of the board, and this is the white side of the board. This is our territory, white's territory, and black's territory. We can see that black is attacking the d4 square here with this pawn. It's attacking the f4 square with the same pawn. It's attacking the e4 square with the knight, and black is attacking the g4 square with the same knight as well. While white is attacking, and that's okay. So if we count, that's 4 squares, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if we look at the white side, white is attacking the g5 square in black's territory, and the h6 square. Even though it's guarded by the pawn, this is just to give you because in chess sacrifices happen at the right time, so you need to be aware just exactly which squares the pieces can influence, either an attack or defense. So that's 2, and we see that the knight is attacking, no, not this knight, but this knight is attacking the b5 square, and as well as by this pawn. The white pawn is in enemy territory. The d pawn is in d5, which in turn attacks the c6 square and the e6 square. This pawn attacks the f5 square in enemy territory. I think we've got it covered. So that's 7 squares. So you can look at it as 7 to 3, or maybe even 7 to 4, or even 8 to 4, because this square is attacked twice. So white clearly has a spatial advantage. This allows white's pieces, to move to more squares than black's pieces. It's as simple as that. Consequently, white will have more opportunities in both attack and defense. Although it isn't always easy to capitalize on this advantage, white should try to form a plan to either attack or gain some other strategic goal, which will be discussed in later lessons. Black, on the other hand, recognizing that his pieces are cramped, needs to figure out a way to free them, or perhaps to exchange his less mobile pieces for white's mobile ones, or maybe gain an advantage in force somewhere to compensate for his spatial disadvantage. White, on the other hand, should try to avoid trading pieces unless he gains something else in the process. All strategic advantages eventually need to be converted to a force or time advantage so you can win material or mate the king. This is just a brief introduction to space, which will be looked at in more depth in later lessons. Now proceed to the next lesson on the third and most important element, force.